the arrow on what size, okay? It doesn't matter, have the same meaning. And it not define any duration, just like unlike the bar we draw in the Gantt chart, just shows the relation between two different tasks. Task A in the project and task B in the project. Okay, let me read this. Yeah, the arrow just used to connect between two different tasks. That's what I just said. Now, there are some rules we want to review. The first one, you always have to draw from left to the side. Your network should be from left to the side. This is nothing against the previous method, right? You always have to draw from left to the side, to the right. Always you have to write the description of activity on the middle of the node. Later, in the next few slides, you will see how we distribute one node to put all the information inside it. Okay, so always the name of your task should be written in the middle of the node. And arrowhead determine the direction of flow activity, just like you can see here. The arrow shows the relation between two different tasks. If I move this to here, then it have a different meaning. It shows to me literally, fabricate have no connection with fixed. But if I turn it back in the first place, means the fixed formwork is successor of the fabricated formwork. You see, we had the same diagram last week, but we put the activities on the arrow. Now there is a shift here because method changed. Now we have activity on the node. Let's see how we have to show all information within one node. This is one node. What you see here, it's not 9 different nodes, okay? It's just one. Like imagine this is fabricate rebar. So this activity, we change the name to fabricate rebar. Where we mention the name here in the middle box, we always mention the name in the middle box. And I'm sure you remember some terms such as early start, early finished, late start, and late finished. Every single box that you can see here are determined to put a different information. The top on the left is for early start. We show it by ES. The right one, early finished, for activity fabricate rebar. Okay, all this information related to the one activity only. It's different from the activity on arrow. Everything related to fabricate rebar. Late start, late finished, and you need to put the total float here in this box. Finally, D stands for, as you know, for the duration of activity, okay? So this is the information you need to learn, and last time you needed to memorize it. Since your exam is online, so I cannot really say please memorize it, because on the exam you have your note front of you. But it would be good still you memorize it. It will help you to process and analyze the question much more faster. So take a look here. activity A, activity B. There is nothing strange about it, right? It's somehow similar to previous method. Activity A must finished 100%. Then activity B can be started. If you have any question with these terms or have a problem, let me know. Here, activity A must finish, fully finished, okay? Not even 99%, 100% finished. Then activity B can be started. But how about here? Take a look. A little different or strange, right? If you want to compare with the activity on the arrow, we never had any connection that shows the start of two activity, but here we have. That's why we can say the activity on the node is much more update. Okay, if I not use professional method, I can say more update method. It gives you more leverage, more opportunity to define a different relation between tasks. So if you have something like that in the future, it means the activity connection is a start to a start. A start to a start. And activity B cannot be a start until activity A started or start at the same time. Take a look again. Activity B in one condition can be a start. That activity A start the same time or already started. But can I say the vice versa, like activity A cannot start until activity B start or not? What do you think? Can I say the different or no? What do you think?
I think not, because activity A can start every time it want to start, but B should be start only when activity A start.
Yes, thank you. That's correct. Yes. So it's possible activity A start and you start activity B 10 days later. This is just an example. It's not real exam here, test here, okay? Or example here. I'm just trying to give you a view. You can start activity A and start B later, depends if activity B located on critical path or no. But the vice versa is not possible. You cannot start activity B and then later start activity A. So it's compulsory to start activity B, activity A started already or start same time. So the point here, that's kind of relation, connection, we call it start to start. There are other definition or connection we have. Take a look on this box. I choose already. The relationship between these two activity, we call it finish to finish because we always draw from left to right. Remember this in your, keep in your mind, okay? This one, finish to finish. So what does mean? Activity B cannot finish. You cannot finish activity B until you finish the activity A task. Think about it. It's Not possible. You finish activity B and next week you finish activity A. Why you cannot? It doesn't matter because we're not in the example, real example. The reason because it will make a delay in the deadline of the project. What you have to know here, the relation between these two activities, which is finish to finish. And now, let's go to another relationship between activity. We call this start to finish. What is the start here? Start from A, take a look, and finish to the B. And the meaning is activity B cannot finish until activity A starts. Before you finish activity B, you have to start activity A. Okay? Now, there are two more important relation between activity. The first one, we call it lead time. What is the lead time? The overlap between dependent activity. Anyone can tell me what does mean? How you can read this one? If you can, let me know. How you should define it? Imagine you are on the project, you are engineer, you are project manager. The contractor gave you this, ask you, what does it, what should I do? You have to let him or her know, right? It's not good as a
The D is
again.
Are the D is
Sorry. Dayang again.
About the 5D is the D is for days.
5D. D stand for
Sorry,
days.
couldn't hear. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
D stand for days.
Okay. So for the activity A, before the 5 days before the activity ends, the activity we should start.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to share something more? Feel free, okay? So this is the issue that you're going to face in the future. This is, don't think you just sit in the class, you have exam, and then you never see this again. Especially if you want to be any, the definition, construction manager, PM, and you are going to face this issue. So better you learn it here. So on the last 5 days of activity A, it doesn't matter how many days. At this moment, I say it doesn't matter. We don't know. Maybe activity A takes 100 days, or maybe take only 8 days. It's not our concern. But on the last 5 days, you have to start activity B. That's it. And the last item, we call it lag time. Take a look here. How you can read this? Anyone?
Activity B will start after 2 days after finish activity A.
Yes, Afir, thank you. That's correct. Activity B cannot start immediately after activity A finish, but you have to wait 2 days as the instruction tell you. D is a stand for days. It could change to W, which address the weeks. Okay? So this is just days, 2 days. Now, we already learned so many introduction how to handle this method. So it's better we go start with one example. The example one. Before I reveal the result to you, take a look here. I want you test yourself, you try to draw the network for with the method of activity on the node. Try. Let's see if you can draw it properly or not. I will give you few minutes. Once you finish, you can share with me the result, but it's try your best. Start from now. Prepare pencil and paper. Okay. Has anybody finished drawing the network? Anyone?
Yes, okay.
Okay, Afiq. Has anyone another question? Has anyone calculate how many days project takes? Okay, no problem. Let's see. Let's see together. And also you can check your answer and compare it with the result here. Take a look here. What you have to do first, you need to draw the network accurately because this is very important. Activity B will come after activity A because the predecessor for B is A. We didn't mention anything in this column and about successor, okay? This is the activity that behind the current activity. So B come after A. This 2 and 6 is duration. Then activity C, the next one, activity D, also followed by activity B. So 2 activity come after activity B, C and D. The next one, activity E. Here with the duration 3 days. What is the next? Activity F and the predecessors D and E. The activity F also have 3 days duration. And the final one, activity G, which come after activity F and with 2 days lag come after activity C. Take a look here. Finish to start plus 2 means activity G start 2 days after activity C has finished. And this FS means finish to start. Finish to start. Okay? So, what we have to do now, calculate the forward pass. Okay, sorry. Oh, sorry, I have a problem here with Excel file. It restarts. Let me share it again with you all. Okay, can you see the file? Forward pass? Can you see the file?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, more yes, good. Now, forward pass. You remember how to calculate forward pass, despite a little different here, because activity located on the node. Let's go to activity A. Take a look there. The 2 is the duration. You just take it, extract it from table and put there. What is that 0? The project hasn't started yet, right? So it took no days so far. at the first day, it's considered as a 0 days. 0 plus 2 will be 2. So early finish for activity A is 2 days. Now, the days will be shift to activity B. 2 plus 6, 8 days. Also 8 will be moved to C and activity D. Okay, so 8 plus 6, 14, 8 plus 1, 9. This is very simple calculation. 2 plus 3 going to be 5. You remember when we got 2 activity end up to 1, just like here, D and E end up to the F. Which early finish we choose? The one has a higher value. Between 5 and 9, we choose 9, correct? So 9 plus 3, 12. And now I have a question from you. What is the earliest start for the last activity, G? What should we put here? 12 or 14?
14 plus 2.
Okay, that was trick, but you will not fall in the trick. Very good. 14 plus 2 will be 16. Between 16 and 12, we always choose the higher value, which is 16, right? So 16 plus 2, 18. That's how you calculate the forward pass. It's quite same as previous method. What is the next? Next is backward pass, right? Okay, let's see what is the result. 18, move to late finish, below box. 18 minus 2, oh sorry, 18 will be minus 2, 16. Yeah, it was correct. 18 minus 2, 16. 16 minus 3, 9. If your slide not move, let me know, okay? Now, 13. And in the activity C, we have 14. 14 minus 6 going to be 8. I'm talking about late start for activity C. Now go to activity D. 13 minus 1 will be 12. Same for other activity. And you know, in the backward pass, we choose the lowest value. When we go to activity B, take a look. Between 8 and 12, we choose the 8. Okay, that's our backward pass. So it's completed, done. We draw the network first, then calculate forward pass, then calculate backward pass. This 3-phase finished. So what should we do next? We need to find, anyone know why we calculate everything so far? We discussed last week. We want to find the critical path. In that forms, we need total float. Calculate the amount of total float. The equation to find the total float is late finish minus early finish, means this late finish, let me highlight it, minus early finish. Okay, 2 minus 2, 0. Here, 8 minus 8, 0. 14 minus 14, 0. 13 minus 9, take a look here, 4. Here, 13 minus 5, 8. Also here, 16 minus 12, 4, and goes on. How we can find the critical path? Those activity with a 0 total flood, which is here. Take a look, 1, 2, and 3. From activity A to B to C and G. This is the critical path, activity located on critical path. But there is one more thing that you need to know in this kind of method for calculation when activity on the node, which is free float. What is the free float? We discuss on upcoming slides, but here I need you to know how to calculate the free float. The equation is following. Take a look here. The early start of the successor means next activity minus early finish, like here, minus the lag, if there is a lag. If no, just consider as 0. So free float for activity A, early success start minus lag, there is no lag, minus early finish. 2 minus 2 minus 0 will be 0. Okay, so free float here becomes 0. But let's go to some activity that really have free float. Oh, okay, here, take a look here. The early start, I'm talking about activity F. The early start for next activity or successor. How much is that? Take a look. 16, right? Minus 12, and there is no lag. The free float become 4. For now, just learn how to calculate. Later, we're going to have more discussion. Okay, that's it. You already found the critical path following the amount of total float. Any question?
No.
Okay, then let's proceed to another example. There is a very nice example here for you, and I want you to try to draw the network. If you do it fast, you can even calculate the final day of the project completion. But first, your first aim, what I want you to do, to draw the network. Let's see. If you finish, let me know. Okay, I hope you tried and you proceed to some result. Before I go to check the answer, you may click on this link and make your attendance for today class. I give you 2 minutes. Do it first, please. So later we're going to see the answer. And plus one more things, your submission for group project is on 8th January, 5 p.m. If you refer to the Classroom Google, you can see the date mentioned there exactly and time. And please really follow the instruction. Do not submit after deadline, not even 1 minute. That could really affect your mark. Okay? You have to submit exactly, try to submit few days advanced, like 2-3 days earlier. But definitely avoid any delay, even 1 minute. Because when you submit by delay, I will receive message that this student submit delay. One more things, only one person from each group log into that project page and submit. If you're not the leader, do not click on anything. Okay? I hope everybody understand. If something not clear for you, you may ask.
Sorry, doctor. I have no group.
Oh, Shujauddin, you don't have a group. Okay. Who
Yes, sir.
else? Okay. Who else doesn't have group? It's almost only 2 weeks to deadline.
Me, that's
Who is that? Let me see.
Said.
Said, you don't have a group too.
Can I join in group? Because all full.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to say you have to let me know in advance, in earlier. This is just 2 weeks in deadline. What possibly you want to add in the group? But yes, since we it said very late. Yeah, just join to the current group, which means we're going to have two group as 6 member. Okay, find some friend, join with them. They are, because I think all the groups already full. We are 62 student here. There are 62 student here, and 60 already become each group 5 member. Did you find any group or you want to search for?
I will share it today. I will join
We
today.
want to.
Thank you so much.
Okay, okay. If you find already, it's okay. Just join with them, and the group you join, it's completely okay. It's everything good with them. Actually, I will give them extra credit to let you join them. And if there is any problem, let me know, okay? So,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
okay,
Thank you, Doctor.
you're welcome. Let's go and see what is the answer here. Take a look carefully, and if you have any question, don't hesitate to share. First of all, you have to draw the network. I'm wondering if you draw the same as you can see here or not. The network is not complicated, but it's very important to draw it correctly. We have activity A, B, C, D, E, F, until the last one. No, it's not really necessary for me to repeat all the name, right? You can see here with their duration. Second step is calculate the forward pass. If you do that, you will get this answer. The final day of the project is the day 40, which means this project will take 40 days to finish. Next step is the backward pass. You already know how to calculate, okay? But if you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask. Don't be shy, just ask. We will discuss about it. Now, what is the step 4? Calculate the total flood. Something interesting here. Take a look on the red highlight color. There are 3 different, very simple equations for calculating the total flood. You can choose either of this equation because you will get the same answer. Either you choose this one, this one, this one. Okay, let's just take a look. Let's see if they give us same answer or not. For this purpose, let's go to activity B. Take a look here. I want to try the second equation. We'll tell you late start minus early start. Late start minus early start. How much will be, you think? Before you go through that, I think there is something typed here wrongly. Sorry, early finished. Okay, that's correct. So how much would be that? Follow this equation to find the total flood. Late start minus early start. If you go to this window here, you can see which one is early start, which one later start, right? 10 minus 10. The answer, the total flood is 0. How about this one? Late finish minus early finish for same activity B. will be 21 minus 21, 0. So in the both equation, we got the same answer, right? Now I want you to try the first one. How about this? You may tell me how you do calculate it. Just don't tell me 0 because I know the answer definitely should be 0. For activity B. But check it out. How you calculate and what you get. Let me know. What is the late finished? What is LF here?
21.
21.
Minus,
21.
yes, minus early start, ES. What is the ES here?
10.
10.
Yes, correct. And D,
11.
11.
thank you. So 21 minus 10 minus 11 also becomes 0.
0.
Yes, thank you so much. That's correct. So we just proved that either we use this one or this one or this one. We will get the same answer. So there is no restrict rules that you choose which one. It's totally up to you which one is easier or convenience for you. So after calculate the total flood for all the task or activity, we can find this is the critical path A to B, C, F, G, and I, the last activity. This is the critical path. Okay, I hope everything clear. So if no question, we go to another example. This is the third example for today. How about I give you a few minutes, you try to draw. There are only 4 activities here. While I'm talking, you can start. Only 4 activities here, right? The duration is based on week. What is important here that is actually require your focus and avoid any overwhelming is the predecessor is a little different from the previous example. Just try to follow the logic and draw it. I give you a few minutes. You may try first. Okay. Any success so far? Let's see the answer. If you draw exactly the same as this network, it's correct. Otherwise, you have to practice much more. So first, you need to do forward pass. Since the network is very small, you can find out the forward pass is just few steps. 2 plus 2, 4, 2, that's it. Then backward pass, also calculate total flood. You will get only total flood for A and B0. So this is our critical paths. Okay, take a look on the answer. Let me know if you need some question, if you have some question. Okay, no question. Let's go to another example. Same as previous example, we have some activity, duration, and predecessor. So if you draw, will be same as, if you wanted to draw, your answer should be same as the following, and your red color, red arrow shows the critical path that you have to avoid any delay. After this class, you should try to draw it, okay? Without check again the answer, try to calculate everything, forward pass, backward, and the free flood. Let's see if you get the same answer or not. Okay, that's all for example enough for this activity on the node. Now we want to learn just some comparison between today and last week method. First of all, take a look here. The item we want to evaluate is the activity, which on ADM located on arrow, but on PDM located on the node, right? So that's how you shows for activity A, for example, here. The information, the data, I'm talking about ADM method, activity on the arrow. The data for activity A will shows on two different nodes, right? You can see here. Shows on two different nodes. But for PDM, all the data for a single activity like activity A will be shows on only one node. Means you want to find the earliest start for activity A, you just refer to the same box. You don't need or jump to another nodes. So for activity A, we have two events and nodes. Two nodes or events. But for activity A in the PDM method, we have only one event. That's a difference to how we show or calculate these methods. ADM one method, PDM another method. If you remember, since last week we talked about earliest start. I may tell you what is the earliest start, but here we have the formal definition. For every single terms, like earliest start, we show by ES. What is that? The earliest possible time that every single activity can start or allowed to be started. The early finish, the earliest possible time that activity can finish. How you calculate it? Earliest start plus duration. D, as your friend asked me, D stand for what? D stand for duration. What is the late finish? You show the abbreviate by LF is the latest possible time activity can finish without extending the completion data of the project. Not activity, but the whole project. Latest start is the latest possible time activity can start without extending or interfering the deadline of the whole project. That's the equation. You can calculate the latest start. Late finish minus duration in backward pass, remember? Okay, that's the famous, very famous total float. The amount of time activity may be delayed without delaying the completion date of the project. That's why the activity located on total float, their total float is 0, means they cannot have any delay. They must be done on time. There are different equations. We just discussed about it today. You can use to find, to determine the total float. But something new here, right? The free float. We just learned, we just introduced the equation that you can use to find, to calculate it. But what is the free float exactly? Why you need to know, why you need to find it? Let's read together. The free float, the amount of the time, how many days, how many weeks, doesn't matter. The amount of time activity may be delayed without delaying the earliest start time of the immediately following this following activity. Actually, it shouldn't be like that, it should be like that. The amount of time activity may be delayed without delaying the early start. As you remember, on that example, we had only one activity as free float. But for another 3 examples, after this class, when you have a time, and it's very important, I emphasize, it's very important, you review, you repeat all the example today. Don't even postpone it for tomorrow. Because if you learn it today very well, it's very hard for you to forget it. Okay, so for another example, try to find the free float. If you have any question, you always can message me, share your question with me. So another issue, I think this is very simple. You already know about what we call the successor and what we call the predecessor activity. There is difference here between activity arrow and activity on node. On activity on arrow, we only can define the relationship between different activity as finish to start. This is the limitation for this method. But on PDM, you can define on 4 different method. Plus you can have a lag, right? You can choose finish start, finish to finish, start to start, and start to finished. Okay? The critical path, I think you already know what is the critical path, but you can read later, it's very obvious. Okay, dummy activity. Just I need to add something here. Dummy activity is not used in PDM method. Only when you use the activity on arrow, you have dummy activity, okay? But in PDM, what we study today, there is no dummy activity. Take a look here. I'm not sure, but I want to repeat again. There is no drawing like following. You can see for activity on arrow. You can never draw between 2 different nodes. You cannot draw 2 activity, like activity A and B start from same node. They can, but they cannot end up to the same node. Okay, this is not correct. You have to change it to the one draw on the left side. Use dummy activity. Also, this one is not correct. You can see here, you have to change it to the right one. Use dummy activity. This is all for activity on arrow. This page discuss actually. On the top drawing, there is a mistake because 3 activity P, Q, and R start from node 2 and all end up to the node 3. This you must know. Definitely you have to avoid any drawing that end up like that. Instead, you have to use dummy activity if you have the same situation on any example. Same goes for here. Take a look here. You have to use dummy activity. After drawing your diagram, you have to go forward pass and backward pass. So, what we tried, like bar chart, activity arrow, PDM, activity on node, there are most famous methods that currently uses in the industry, not only in building industry, but it could be used on any project that cooperating with some sort of managing time. Mostly managing time. Also cost can be used, but we discuss about scheduling mostly. There are some other method which is less famous, such as you can see here, we mentioned about linear scheduling method, but this type of method is not famous. We not discuss about it. I just put it here as introduced to you. There are more, but what you learn here is the most applicable method for scheduling in any project. Okay, that's it for today class. Now, I'm going to give you one assignment. Meantime, if you have any question, if something not clear for you, you can ask now. Do not message me after class for attendance list, okay? I don't know if you attend or not. Sometimes happen for me. Okay. Assignment is individual assignment. There are 3 questions. And the deadline would be on 25, which is next Saturday, okay?
Okay, Dr.
I think you can access the assignment in few seconds. Let me know. I already uploaded in Google Classroom. Just somebody confirm if you have received or not. Okay, that's it for today. If you have any question, if you don't have any question, you can leave the Google Meet and I see you next week. Have a good time.